Hi, I'm Heinbach and this is a $10,000 instrument. At least that's what it sold for at Julien's auctions, where it was part of the estate of the late and great Florian Schneider of Kraftwerk. When I covered that auction here on my YouTube channel, this was one of the instruments that got me really excited.
What is that? What is that? I want this.
There it was called the Beam Music Board from the 1960s. And I had no idea what it did, how it sounded, and that got me super curious. But of course, everything in that auction went very, very expensive because it was used by a legendary musician. And I knew I could never afford to bid on it. But luckily, a friend of mine from Prague, Andre of Vintage Audio Repairs, had one of these. And he said, "Do you want one?" And I said, of course, this is super exciting for me. Now, this is not the exact same model that was sold in that auction. That was made by a company called Beam. This is the SNT 36 by Houghton. Sensorica Notova Tabula. Sensor notation table. And it was made for schools, which you can see if we go to the back. Because here's a little secret compartment. And when you open it, gets you vintage chalk and a vintage sponge. The idea was write notation on these lines and then play the melody. I've got a banana plug here, and when I just hold this, I can now play it. It's a classic divide-down organ, so there's not many ways to change the sound. We've got a filter here, so let me hold. And it's polyphonic, which is absolutely something I would not have thought this to be. We can even set a little beat. A little bit faster. I think I can see what inspired Florian to play with this. I mean, der Musikant mit dem Taschenrechner in der Hand, the musician with the calculator in their hands. This is very beepy. You can set half steps over here. So you can program a scale. Let's do a C minor scale. And if you look closer, you'll see all the beautiful German pronunciations of the half steps. You get the hiss and the ha and the gis and the guess and the cis. I feel right at home with this. C, then we've got the D. Now we need the S, yes. F, then we've got a G. Then we need the as. And then we've got a B. And that should be it. Of course, we can make chords. So what would be cool now is write a little melody and then try to trace it. This is unopened. It's the first time since ages since I've written notation onto a board. This is weird. Oh my God. Ah! Don't judge. This is forever. I feel like I'm school again. Ah. Okay, click in my mouth to concentrate. That's actually fun. Now, if you want to play longer melodies, there's an expander available that connects to the side here. Just plug this in. Cool. Let's play. That's a funky note. It seems the expander produces some bum notes, which is sad, but to be honest, I'm not that bothered, because this use is not something I'm gonna do here. I'm not a music teacher. I'm more interested in the experimental side of this. And I think there's two ways we can play this experimentally without modding it. The first is sausages. And here are the sausages. Now with a capacitive touch strip like this, these should simulate fingers pretty well. And I should be able to plug a banana into them and then use them to play. So let's try that in general. It works. So now I can create chords with these sausages if I cut them up and then be free to play around them. So let's do that. What's the perfect shape? Probably something like lengthwise, like maybe like so. And then, yeah, maybe like this. Okay, but one. Well, that's sausages. Add a bit of reverb, or rather a massive slathering of it, and any instrument can sound good. I kinda like the innocent divide down organ kind of style of sound that this has, and the filter actually allowed for some expressiveness. But of course, this is a teaching tool and not a musical instrument, and as such found it to be incredible fun. Now I tried to call the maker of it. Hello, Mr. Hummel?
Co powiesz mapę?
Hello. Hi, I wrote you an email yesterday. Do you speak English?
No.
No English?
No?
But I don't speak Czech and he doesn't speak English, so I'm waiting for Andre to give us a bit more insight on the history and the relationship to the Beam soundboard that Florian used. Speaking of that, there are a few mods that Florian did or had done to his soundboard. One was a line out. So that's a pretty easy mod. You just put a few resistors to the loudspeaker and then you add a jack. Honestly, I really like miking speakers. I think it adds a different texture. Then there was a mod for an LED chain for it, which makes me think that this might have been used either in some very special performances or as like a talking piece in the studio or as a piece of musical wall art. That's kind of like what I have in mind for this, because this has nifty little hangers and then you can hang it up. Then I would add the output and just strap it to a Space Echo and let people go nuts with it. Also with the chalkboard. I think that will also be fun for the kids.
Just as I'm editing this video, Andre got back to me. Just spent unexpected 30 minutes on the call with him. Lots of info, I took some notes. Original idea is Beamboard, and it was showcased in Frankfurt on some exhibition where Mr. Hummel seen it and got inspired. Original touch principle made it eye-wateringly expensive. It was using silver oxide. He'd seen it in Frankfurt in 1986. He developed his own principle of touch operation that was much more cost-effective and easier to maintain. Oh cool, aha, so it's a new instrument. I wonder why it says made in 1978, 1979. He prepared manufacturing production process and prototypes and went to the communist government to ask for this to be mass-produced. The 1979 is there because he used in the 90s, after the fall of the Iron Curtain, leftover stock from various former communist factories. He asked first for this to be made in Harmonika Horowice, which was a musical instrument factory. His request was denied and they sent him to Brno, where they were making teaching aids. They obviously had no connection to what it does and how cool it is to help kids learn the connection between sound and notation. This led to the failure of the project under the communist regime and opened opportunity for him to make it as a private company. As soon as it was possible to open private businesses in 1990, he did it, bought lots of leftover stock parts from various former factories and started making these for music schools. What I gather from looking at the website, these instruments are still being manufactured, though my email bounced. You might have to call him directly and speak in Czech if you want to order one of these. In the meantime, I also found the original patent for this style of instrument. It's from 1969 and was registered by the Saba company from the Black Forest. An uncle of mine used to work for Saba back in the day. I could not find out if Saba actually produced these or they were licensed to the Beam company and they produced them.
If you have encountered this musical teaching instrument previously, I would love to hear from you. There's so little information out there and anything we can gather here is a lovely resource. For me, I don't regret spending 250 euros on it. 10K I wouldn't have, but I would love to hear from you if you're the person that bought it. There might be sonic differences that I'm not aware of and I would just love to see pictures of it brought back to life, back in action with LEDs. Yeah, and just seeing that original Beam soundboard that inspired this whole video. On my Patreon you'll find a little decent sampler instrument of the soundboard that runs in all major applications. And yeah, it preserves the sound of this odd and beautiful teaching tool instrument. Thank you all for watching. I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye.